Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 10 at Kentucky Downs on Sunday is the $750,000 Dueling Grounds Derby. Let's throw up the field of three-year-olds getting set to go a mile and 5/16. There's one thing you know about Kentucky Downs, Mike. You're going to get big purses and big fields of evenly matched turf horses.
That is certainly the case. It always seems to be. Also, it feels like you get some good prices in some of these races, Dan. I don't know. I felt like this race was kind of wide open. I'm not going to argue too hard against the 12 Du Jour being the favorite in here, but I thought this race probably went beyond him.
Du Jour has excellent tactical speed. Timeform US believes he might actually be the speed of the speed, although Modern Science is quick. And I would think Modern Science and Cellist have to take up the running. Du Jour would be more than happy to sit off those horses after breaking from the outside. The pace should be solid, though.
I think it should be as well. We'll see. I mean, Du Jour drawn on the outside will go forward. I doubt they're going to go, sending him for the lead in here, but he'll go forward in here. Modern Science, I guess it just sort of feels like they've settled on him as more of a speed horse this year, Dan. So I guess I would expect to see him go as well.
Number one is a credit, stakes placed son of Flatter. Fourth last time out at Ellis Park. Thought all in all the trip was there for him in that race. Just didn't finish it off. I think he needs to improve a little bit.
Yeah, I felt the same way about him. Certainly the added distance, I suppose, could work to his favor. At the end of the day, those horses coming out of that preview race at Ellis last time, I don't know if I want any of those horses, Dan.
We'll see if Jack Sisterson wheels the two in effect back in a week. He ran in the Better Talk Now last week and just didn't really fire. His race 2 starts back in the Hall of Fame. He was buried down inside, came with a little bit of a run. If he does run in here, he'd be stretching all the way out.
Yeah, ran is a relative term to describe what he did last week at Saratoga, Dan. He didn't do anything in there and finished far back. I thought his race 2 starts ago in the Hall of Fame was pretty good, but I don't know if I like that race that much overall. I don't know. I guess he could be all right in here. He's a very big price. I don't want to knock him too hard. I'm looking elsewhere if he runs.
The 3 Yes This Time is a really underrated horse. He's won 6 of 9. He had a 5-race win streak snapped last time out in the Saratoga Derby. And Yes This Time is kind of like Du Jour in a way in that he's adaptable to the pace. You can actually take him further back if necessary. And after he got pinched at the start of that race, he kind of lost early ground and then didn't do much after that. Can you give him enough of an excuse, or have we seen enough after 9 starts and he just has to run faster?
Yeah, I mean, maybe both of those things are true. I would give him another chance. I think that was a pretty tough field he was in last time, and I don't know if this one's quite as tough. And overall, he's just really consistent, and as you've already pointed out, he's also pretty adaptable. I can see him getting the right trip in here. I doubt I would take the 6-1 morning line on him if that's what he goes off at, but I could use this horse somewhere.
Never off the board from 6 starts is the number 4. That's Modern Science. And this horse, as Mike mentioned, they're using his speed this year. He went right to the top in the prep race for the Dueling Grounds Derby at Ellis Park. He hung in very gamely to lose by only a neck. The problem is the pace scenario. As Timeform US indicates, we're expecting a fast pace. Even if he doesn't get the lead, he's going to be close to that fast pace with a long, undulating European stretch awaiting him.
You would think so. I mean, listen, he was fine as a 2-year-old when they, took him off the pace in his races. He did, I thought he was overall a little disappointing in some of those starts, but he ran fine without the lead. So I guess they could take him back if they have to. Again, I don't really like the horses coming out of that preview race at Ellis. I don't care for the horse this horse lost to at Canterbury 2 starts back. I don't know, Dan. He's just not for me.
Palazzi's run some decent races. He's graded stakes placed in his career. I thought his Audubon 3 starts back was okay when he was beaten by Cellist. Last 2 he was in against grade 1 competition in New York. In the Saratoga Derby, he saved ground early. He came about 5 wide, splitting horses into the stretches. Can finish with those horses. A fast pace helps him out. He's a bit underrated.
That's what I think, too. Again, he's coming out of a race that's a lot tougher than this one, as is his race 2 back, most likely. I thought his Audubon was good. There was no pace in that race, and I thought he actually ran pretty well to be second in there. I just feel like he hasn't quite found the right spot yet, and coming into this race, it might be the right spot.
A lot of upside potential, a lot of turf distance pedigree for the 6 Red Hornet by English Channel out of a Kitten's Joy mare. Kind of an even performance last time out at Ellis Park. I wouldn't be surprised if this horse improves. Again, a lot of upside, only 3 starts under his belt.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, as much as I don't want the horses out of that preview race at Ellis, I feel like this is a horse that you might want to at least keep an eye on because he's very lightly raced and could take a step forward.
And there's the Michael Maker MO at 30-1 on the morning line. The 7 Hilliard, claimed out of his most recent start by Maker, now stretching out in distance. It's been a move that's worked so well for him over the years. Hilliard did get beat in a claiming race last time out at Saratoga. He was also the only 3-year-old in the race, and those were a pretty decent group of older horses.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad field. It was older horses. It was also a race that had a really solid pace. Closers dominated. He got a great trip into it, and he just wasn't close to good enough to win that race. I don't know. Listen, we've seen this before from Maker. I'm sure that there's a chance he turns this horse into a totally different kind of runner as he takes over and stretches him out, but I would never bet this horse.
Cellist for Rusty Arnold, very logical contender in here for Calumet Farm. This horse went a pretty fast pace in the Saratoga Derby last time out, faltered badly in the last 3/16 of a mile or so, ran well in the Belmont Derby when able to get up close to more moderate fractions over a wet turf course. The pace should be fast, but this horse has shown that he certainly fits with these horses.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't have any problem with his last 2 starts. I think he's run fine in both of them. His win prior to that, I don't know. He got loose on the lead that day at a really slow pace. I think it remains open to question how good he actually is, but he's a nice fit in this race. We'll see if the trip works out for him, Danny. It feels like he's not going to be much price.
The 9 Royal Prince finished ahead of 3 of these rivals in the race we're going to show you right now. It's the Dueling Grounds Derby preview at Ellis on August the 7th. You're going to see Royal Prince on the outside. There wasn't a ton of pace in here. Modern Science made the lead. Royal Prince makes the first run. He's up front, and he's going to get run down by the filly Core Values. Useful effort for Royal Prince, who's a very useful horse, 8 of 10 on the board.
Yeah, ran fine in this race. He shows up and runs fine basically without fail. This is a pretty nice horse. And Brad Cox has done a great job of finding the right spots for him. We'll see if more distance is what he wants. That I'm not so sure about that. He's very consistent, though. I think he'll show up and run his race, whether it's good enough to win. I don't know. I'd be concerned if he was any kind of a short price.
Here's Gray Streak, the number 10, winning his allowance non-winners of 2 life condition on July the 16th. We're going to see him on the outside under James Graham for Calumet Farm. He just gets up in the shadow of the wire. The runner-up is a useful horse, dirt or turf. Would come back to run second on the main track in the Ellis Park Derby with an 85 buyer.
This horse ran pretty well in here. It was a pretty significant step forward for him as well as he dropped back in distance. I mean, when they stretched him out 2 starts back, he didn't run well at all. So I guess that could be a little concern here as he takes on a little bit more ground, but he ran well last time.
Last Samurai, the 11, was briefly on the Kentucky Derby trail earlier this year, but it seems like he's found his right surface. He's run well in both starts on turf. At Colonial Downs last time out, he took advantage of a pretty good pace. I still don't know how he won that photo.
I don't either. He got a great setup in there to get the job done, but you know what? He might get a great setup in here as well. And I think he's, it's pretty clear at this point that he's better on turf.
Du Jour, the number 12, graded stakes winner at Churchill Downs, 3 starts back. Let's watch the Saratoga Derby. He was up close to that fast pace, down on the inside. Cellist has made the lead. Du Jour was in the pocket, but as you see, once he tries to get to the outside, he is buffeted about in between horses. That being said, he still finishes okay to be ahead of 3 of these horses. His tactical speed allows him to get the jump on some of his main competitors.
Yeah, that's all true. He ran fine in this race. Yeah, he did get into a little bit of trouble in this stretch. I don't think it cost him all that much. I don't think he was winning, but it's something to at least consider. He ran fine in the Belmont Derby 2-back with a really good trip. He just wasn't quite good enough there. I mean, I think in a lot of ways he is the horse to beat, Dan. If he's going to be a really short price, though, I'd rather bet somebody else.
Let's take a look at who you're going to bet in the Dueling Grounds Derby. I thought I was getting clever, and then I forgot that you're the president of the Palazzi fan club. We're both going with the Marcassi trainee, 8-1 on the morning line. Let's hope for some pace.
Welcome to the club, Dan. Your patch for your jacket's in the mail. I don't know. Again, I feel like this horse has just been looking for the right spot, and I think this might be it. If they go fast in front of him, he'll run late.
5, 8, 12, and 3 for Mike. 5, 11, 12, and 8. I agree with Mike. I think Last Samurai has found his surface, and he might get some pace to run at as well. He's also 8-1 on the line. We'll see if Palazzi can do it for us in the Dueling Grounds Derby at Kentucky Downs on Sunday. Good luck.